how to clean and maintain the tools. The pump you will purchase needs to have the flow and draw capacity of a Graco Mark V or better. A pump with lower flow capacity will not operate the system. Whichever pump you purchase for this system, supply yourself with 50 to 100 feet of 3/8 inch Blue Max material line and a 1/4 inch whip, which will be supplied by that pump manufacturer. Before using the Mark V, you'll need to take out the cylinder filter on the pump. Unscrew the tube, slide out filter, and screw back on the tube. Leave the screen at the bottom of the piston in place. If it has not been done already, take out the filter in the inline trigger gun. Securely attach lines to the pump and the trigger valve to the lines. Notice that trigger valve has a material flow valve and disconnect fitting. Turning the material flow valve clockwise reduces the material flow and counterclockwise increases the material flow. Attached to the material flow valve is the quick connect. You can attach poles for taping, finishing, or texturing to the quick connects. To attach any pole, pull back on the sleeve, connect, and release. Place the pump into a bucket of water. Open the pressure relief valve and place the relief hose into the bucket. Turn on the pump. And turn up the pressure to prime. After the water is flowing through the relief hose, close the relief valve and allow the pump to build up pressure. Once you have mixed up the taping or coating compound, set the Mark V to 2500 psi. The higher you set the pump pressure, the faster the pump will deliver material when the trigger is pulled. Beware, higher pump pressure will also make the start more difficult to control depending upon compound consistency. Connect the taper or finishing pole onto the inline valve depending on your current process. Pull the inline lever to advance the material and prime the lines with compound. The CFS tape applicator is comprised of a valve end, a taping tube with its component parts, the internal CFS taping tube, and the taping head. To assemble, line up the small groove in the taping tube with the corresponding nipple on the taper head and clamp down the SS latches. Attach the arm mechanism and screw down tight. Next, slide the CFS tube into the green taping tube and clamp down the SS latches. Your CFS taper is now assembled. To load the tape, unlatch the tape holder, place the tape on the spool, and reattach holder. Guide the paper tape around the arm. Slide it into the slot and slide the tape until it can be picked up by the advancing mechanism. To advance the tape, pull down on the lever on the sleeve, then push the sleeve toward the taper head. Spool tension should be somewhat loose or paper drag can result. To extend the arm wheel for taping flats or angles, extend the sleeve toward the taper head without the advance lever engaged. There is enough spring action on the wheel that with the sleeve fully extended, the wheel can keep its tension against the tape. This tools metering system is not a wheel on the board pulling a cable and thus putting mud on the paper tape. You are the metering system. You control the amount of mud that goes under the tape. You do that by adjusting the material flow knob just above the trigger valve. Turn clockwise for less material, counterclockwise for more material. To start taping, advance tape once. No trigger. Advance tape, again this time engaging the trigger for just a second. Extend the sleeve to press the tape to the board. Engage the lever and get right up to taping speed. 3 inches from the stop cut point, release the material lever. Stop tape applicator and cut tape by pulling on the sleeve. We have a scissors cutting mechanism on the CFS taper. If you advance the tape too far, you can grab the tape and pull it back. When taping inside angles, you do not have to advance the tape, so you have a tail to drag into the 3-way angle. Just back roll the creaser wheel back into the 3-way angle, then pull the creaser wheel out away from the tape, engage air lever, move the head down the corner, and extend the creaser wheel back into the angle 6 to 8 inches away from the 3-way angle. You will not drag the tape out to the 3-way. For coating, attach the coating tube to the quick connect. Screw on the coater or angle head gooseneck to the tube and hand tighten. When using the flat coaters, set the coater to the desired crown by using the blade tension adjuster. Flat on the blade tension backer bar will mean flat on the wall. Place the coater on the wall, extending your tube hand over the board just like you would have a hand knife. Start down the seam as you engage the lever. When coming to a stop point, release the lever and travel a few inches further on the board before pulling off the coater head. When coming back to coat the rest of the seam, release the lever 3 inches before you come to the full coat and take coater into that coat, then pull off. If you have too much mud for the speed you are going, turn down the flow valve. If you don't have enough mud for the speed you are going, turn up the flow valve. You are adjusting the flow of mud to your taping or coating speed on the wall. For texture, attach the texture pole to the quick connect. You will also need to use an air compressor and air line to deliver and break up the compound to your desire. Attach the air line to the texture attachment. The texture attachment may also be used on any tube length. For cleanup, drop the pump into a bucket of water and circulate to clean the pump. CFS tubes and the lines. There is a cap, spring, and ball located in the end cap of the CFS tubes. This does not need to be disassembled for cleaning. If spring, ball, or cap needs to be replaced, simply unscrew and replace in the proper order. First, the cap, flat side down, then the spring, and finally the ball. After the tubes are cleaned, allow the pump to cycle through the relief valve for 5 to 7 minutes to finish cleaning the pump. Follow the pump manufacturer's recommendations for lubricating the pump after each use. Also, there is no lubrication required for the coaters. Just make sure to remove the access cover when cleaning to remove compound from the coater cavity.